Alrighty guys, as here bringing us another Dragon Ball Legends PvP video. So this is going to be a little bit of a discussion video, and I do have gameplay playing on right here in the background. It's going to be of the EX LBR, right? So I kind of wanted to go ahead and give my review on the game mode as a whole after going through the entire thing right here, right? So I had this already pre-recorded and stuff like that, right? And I was what I was planning on doing was I actually had commentary for this already ready to go, right, during the actual live recording of this, but I ended up scrapping it because I was noticing the feedback on because I did two of these videos, right? I did one for like the best team in Dragon Ball Legends for the Extreme LBR, and then I did another one where I was like, oh, Yajirobe like slicing through the competition or whatever. And you know, the feedback wasn't too great on them. It's not even about the views, right? It's definitely not about the views. It's about how you guys are feeling with the game mode itself. And so I wanted to go ahead and open up the floor to discussion with you guys on how they could do better with this game mode, on what they can improve. And because starting off, I want to say, like, I was really excited for this to come back, right? I was really excited for this to come back, and first day of it being here, first couple of days of it being here, I really had a lot of fun with it, right? And I was like, oh, like, you guys, I'm going to try to go no losses, right? I want to get all 30 wins. And truth be told, I did it. I did 20 matches. I did 20 matches, and that's it. Right. I did 20 matches, and then I completely blew it off. Right. I didn't lose a single game, but obviously it's not as impressive due to the fact that I didn't use all of my tickets. So I don't really call that a flawless run or anything like that. Right. I just got really bored of it. Right, and it sucks because, like I said before, at the beginning of the game mode, starting off strong, I was really excited for this, and you know, it ended up, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of got boring, right? Because you guys know me, especially as a content creator, I do like using like these diverse teams, right? Especially in PvP. No matter how many times I get clapped, right? You guys will see me running into PvP with 3-star units, with like extremely old units, where I'm just kind of, even if I'm losing a lot, at least I'm still like having fun, and the payoff for that is actually worth it to me, right? It may not be worth it to other people, but for me personally, I feel like when I get a win, especially against like a good team, like a meta team even, with units that are just so like tragically just bad, it feels so good to me. It's not even like a power trip. That sounds bad, right? It sounds bad saying that out loud, but it feels like really rewarding. Where in this game mode, I just feel like such an immense amount of like stress or pressure, and I know that's a little bit dramatic. Right, it's a little bit dramatic, but it's just because you get a set amount of tickets. That means that you have a set amount of time that you can play this. Well, not only the set amount of time, but set amount of chances. Right, you can't just keep spamming this game mode like a regular PvP mode at all. So I think that's one thing that I would take out. I'm not a big fan of like the tickets, right? The tickets, getting the tickets, and then you're only going to be getting those rewards based off the wins that you get. If you look at other games when they have events like playlists and stuff like that, like they give the rewards in some other type of form. And I know it's hard to compare like apples to oranges, but I mean, I'm still gonna compare them, right? I still want to compare them. They're still fruits, right? So I want to go ahead and like make the comparison right here, that I really feel like for me personally, if I were to change the reward system, how it goes, it would just be on how much you played the game mode, man. Like truly, like these kinds of things are supposed to be fun for me, right? I would love for them to implement more game modes, right? Because starting off strong, like I said before, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it at the very beginning. And even though this may be a flop, right, just to answer the title of the video, I do believe that this was a flop and it was like an experimental process, but that's the main point of it. I feel like this was an experimental process. I feel like they can really use this feedback, and instead of just getting shut down, I don't want the Dragon Ball Legends devs to see all of the just pure hatred of this game mode and just be like, okay, well, screw it, we're not giving them an extra playlist anymore then. Right, I don't want that to happen. I still do want the extra playlist, but I think this is where we really have to come together and be like, okay, well, these are the things that you need to improve to actually make the player base happy and want to play this extra game mode that you've implemented within the game, right? This is something that I think they should do like once a month or just during special events or something like that, right? Because like I think I've said it before, like in 5-9 videos, like what we want to see from Dragon Ball Legends in 2022. I want new game modes, right? And we're actually getting that. They have already teased a new game mode in the most recent Dragon Ball Legends video and stuff, right? So I'm actually very excited about that. But when it comes to like PvP playlist modes, like party modes almost is like what I want to call these, right? Because these aren't your standard ladder matches where you're going against just your best teams going against other teams. This is just literally one best team. Right, I think that's like really where things start to go south, start to go really bad. Because like I said before, I made a video where like this is the best team in Extreme LBR, and it really is. Right, I think the only team that really rivals it is the Pride Troopers, right? The EX Pride Troopers with the EX Jiren, EX Topo, and EX Dispo. But as of recording, those guys have only been on one banner. They're currently only on one banner, and so it's kind of unrealistic for you to actually have those units right there, right? Because I've actually seen them do perfectly fine against this combo that I have going on right here, this Jiren, Gokua, and Yajirobe setup. And the thing that you find happening the most right here in this game mode is just pure mirror matches every single time, right? And long matches at that too, right? Especially if you get your rush guest, or if the rush doesn't kill, right? There was a lot of matches on within my playthrough where my rush just straight up didn't kill. And so I was like, oh, damn, well, you know, I got to build up to my next one. That was my immediate next thought process. I was like, okay, well, this rush didn't kill, or this rush didn't go through, then let me just build up another one. Let me just build up another one, because that's how confident I was in getting another one, right? I mean, obviously, there were times when the matches were quicker than others, but especially when it came to that mirror match, because, like I said before, everyone wants to win for this, right? And you can't really blame the player base, right? You can't really blame the player base for wanting to win and wanting to use the best units that they have. And the thing with the EX units is that there's such a little pool of like good EX units, right, that it's hard to compete with stuff like this, especially with mono teams being like extremely relevant, right? Obviously, like mono purple, they can get really beefed up. Same thing with this team right here, because you put on the right bench units, you're going to be getting so much in terms of Z ability on your bench. You're getting like, look at this Gokua right here on screen. He has a 4 million HP, bro. 4 million HP. And then what can Jiren do? Jiren has the ability to heal, right? He can go type neutral on cover change. You know, Yajirobe gets his vanish back. This Gokua even gets his vanish back on his green cards. Even with Yajirobe, he gets HP. He restores HP for his entire team a limited amount of times on his green card, right? So it's just like, these matches just drag on and on and on, and that's where I really started to lose the appeal right here, because I like I said before, like when I was looking at the reception in the comments of these videos, a lot of people were very unhappy with this game mode. As time progressed, I noticed a lot of people were extremely unhappy with this game mode, and like I said before, you can't really blame the player base for wanting to win, right? Because that'd be like me going and hating on someone in standard PvP because they're using a high start Ultra Gogeta. Like, they pulled that Ultra Gogeta. He's the best unit in the game. Why would I blame it? Especially like if you're a free-to-play player, right? Especially like if you're a free-to-play player who saved all his currency and you wanted to summon for the best unit currently in the game, and you actually do pull the best unit currently in the game, which is that Ultra Gogeta. I can't blame you for using him, right? Just like on here, I can't really blame people for wanting to use the best units, especially when there's CC on the line, especially when something like PvP, they're completely different, right? When you're actually going into ranked battle, you can continuously play until you get into a comfortable rank to secure your PvP rewards. For this, you cannot continuously play. You get a limited amount of times to go ahead and play. And so that's another thing that it's just, there's a lot of critiques that I can make about this game. There's a lot of cons about it. But like I said before, instead of just purely just hating on it, I do want to get feedback on it. I want to know what your guys' feedback on it to enhance the game mode, to make it better in the future, right? Because I know a lot of people, especially on Reddit, I'm just like, honestly, when it comes to this game, I read a lot of like comments and interactions, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on Reddit, whether it be in just YouTube comments in general, whether it be on other content creators' channels. I absorb a lot of this, a lot of the stuff that you guys are talking about, right? And I do consider it when I'm like making these discussion videos. Although I'm not really the best at making these discussion videos, but it's just what I really want to see from them. Like I said before, is like change the reward system. I want them, if they want to do something like this EX battle, they need to throw something else in there to spice it up. They need to add an extra mechanic. They need to make it so that there's not only a set number of just best units in the game, right? Because, like I said, it's such a limited amount of EX units that are just good. Straight up, like, it's just such a limited amount. Like, they could have even done something like this for free-to-play units, right? I feel like that would have even been better, right? I mean, I'm sure maybe, honestly, maybe someone would have found a broken team for just free-to-play units, right? Because you think of free-to-play units, you think, like, the best free-to-play units, like Super Saiyan Blue Goku, free-to-play 18, especially with the leader slot system, it gets a little bit tricky, right? Or maybe they could do that. maybe like now that I'm actually like spitballing with you guys right here, maybe for these specific like party game modes, maybe they just take out the leader slot, because that would like really like screw up the synergy of this team a little bit, right? Maybe not entirely, but you're going to lose out like on something, right? It's going to nerf the team just a little bit right here if you don't have the leader system in this game mode. And so I feel like there's stuff like that that can really just be worked on and just balanced on, and just continuous like feedback on that, right? Because as you can see right here, it's just like any other team kind of just like falls apart when coming across this team right here. Like literally, I didn't lose a single game, but I guarantee that if I would have ran into the Pride Troopers, it would have been a little bit different, right? Because Dispo has the lock-in mechanic. At Topo, I believe he has the team heal, and Jiren is just a beast on his own. But I didn't run into a single one. I didn't run into a single user using those Pride Troopers, just because, like I said before, these EX units they're hard to obtain in the first place, right? Because as it is, that's another argument that I've seen being made, is that some people even argue that this team right here, this EX Jiren, Goku, and Yajirobe team, is not free-to-play friendly at all. In fact, that people consider it to actually be pay-to-win, right? Quote-unquote pay-to-win, because these are the rates on these units, right? When you look at DBZ space and you're looking at summoning and you're looking at these units, the summoning rate for pulling these guys is actually less than the LFs. Right, it's actually less than the LF, so it can be more difficult to pull these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys were just like, you know what, dude, I don't even have these units. Like, I don't even want to touch this game mode. Or I know people that wanted to have fun in this game mode. Like, for example, I know a couple people that were like, oh, I'm gonna run Ginyu Force, right? That's a team that I want to run. And then they just get stomped by this team right here, and then they're like, okay, well, I don't really want to play this game mode anymore. Same thing with the Pull Force. I mean, I think a Pull Force is actually still pretty good for this. But compared to this team, this team still just rocks everything. Like, it just, like, no diffs. Everything, right? Besides the Pride Troopers. Literally, that's it. That's the only team that I would consider to be #1 besides these guys, right? If these guys weren't in the equation. And even then, I've still seen these guys kind of, like, pick apart the Pride Troopers, especially if you get a really well-timed rush off or something like that, right? And then, on top of that, it's just like a rush fest, right? It's like a rising rush fest right here. And it's, especially with units like Goku, who can have like a seemingly infinite combo. Like, you just keep going. Like, even in this matchup right here, like, look at this. So on screen right here, I'm going against a double green setup. Right, double green with Rawberry, so he has a little bit of rush control right here. But it really, like, it doesn't matter. Like, this team just melts, bro. It absolutely just melts, and then I just bring in Yajirobe right here so I can go ahead and get this guaranteed blue card, because I do get the key back, and I do believe he blocks in for a certain amount of time. Right, so basically he's forced to use his team heal right here. Right, he's very cautious about this first life. I can get my Vanish back right here, and then I can go for this. Like, it's just madness. Right, it's just madness, and I don't really think it's like I said before, I really, really wanted to love this game mode. I actually wanted it back. I actually advocated for them to bring it back, but I feel like the last time it was around, like, the EX units that you could use were a lot more, there was a lot more variation in it, right? Like I said before, especially because leader slot wasn't a thing the last time they brought this around, so you really had to consider, like, a full-built team. Like, you had to get 3 units and a bench that, like, ideally, like, buffed all 3 of those units, or else you're going to be a little bit rough in terms of Z ability right here, right? But with this team, with the leader slot, it kind of really just makes it all wonky right here. Everyone just struggles against this team, right? So once again, I just want to ask you guys, bro, like, truly, like, what would you guys have done to make this a little bit better? Because I don't want to scrap the idea as a whole, right? I think that's worst case scenario, is that they scrap the idea as a whole. Like, you don't want to just completely shut down an idea. You want to give them something to make it better, right? Because I know I've even seen some people say that, like, they should have just scrapped this as a whole instead of making it an extreme LBR. It should have just been an all sparkings, whatever units you want LBR, and that's fine too. That in that situation, it's gonna work, right? Because there's a lot more units that you can use to your advantage. But even in that situation, I still feel like you're going to see Ultra Gogeta everywhere, because it's the same situation that we see in PvP right here. I actually think PvP is in a solid state right now, right? You see a lot of metas you see a lot of different teams that are like meta units, like LOE, for example. I think LOE is very, very meta, right? Ultra Gogeta is obviously very meta. Mono Purple is very meta. There's probably a couple more examples out there that I'm missing right here, but The point being is that you have a lot more units in the sparking / ultra units pool that it's going to be more reliable, right? And then when you look at this, bro, it's just you just get mirror match after mirror match, right? Because there's only like a very small amount of units that are just absolutely the pinnacle of like extreme LBR. And like I said before, man, it's just once I hit those 20 wins, dude. Because what is it? You need like 17 wins to actually get the CC, and that's a lot of wins, bro. I'm gonna be real honest, especially for someone that's more so a casual player. Like they expect you to get 17 wins just to get your 1000 CC. I feel like I feel like that's why you see a lot of people just kind of skipping out on the game mode as a whole, and that's kind of like why I ended up dropping it as well, right? Once I realized that, I was like, oh, I can get the 1000 CC, and hopefully I can still get the PvP message as well. I was just like, okay, well, these extra 10 tickets are just gonna burn out then. I don't want to deal with the extra 10 tickets. I don't want to go back into the game mode. I'm not necessarily having fun with it, and that I think that's where the main issue is that the fun has just been successfully taken away. It becomes a chore, right? It becomes a chore. And then it's like they need It's funny that it becomes like a chore too, because the way that these gacha games work is that they want you to log on every day, right? If you don't log on every day, you didn't get all your tickets, right? If you missed a day of login, you missed the 3 tickets for that specific day. And it's like they try to give you this incentive to log on every day, but they completely dropped the ball, because even if for someone that like me who did log in every day, who had all 30 tickets, I was like, I'm not doing the rest of it. I don't want to do the rest of it, right? So I think that's going to go ahead and pretty much end my discussion on this. We'll go ahead and continue talking right here, I guess, until this match is over. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and say that this was an L on the Legends devs' part. I don't think they really took into consideration the state of EX units at the time of putting this game mode out. I do agree that it should have been a sparking one first. It should have been a sparking one first, and then once they got like a handle on the situation a little bit more, they should have implemented the EXs, right? After that. And you can see right here, even as he just rushed me, right? Did it just go through? I'm pretty sure it went through and he wasn't able to kill my Goku. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Either way, man, it's just like, even if he were to have killed Goku right there, I probably still wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been too disheartened right here, right? Because it's just like, and look at, there's also like just the DCs and stuff like that. Like the game mode was just like in shambles, bro. I'm gonna be real. The game mode was just in shambles. I really want to know what your guys' experience with it was. Like, it just, there's lag, there is DCs, there is just mirror matches, there was just long games, there was just like everyone guessing your rush, or you're having to rely on 2 rushes, all of that like nonsense, right? And so I was just like, I don't know. Please let me know in the comments down below. Just I want to hear your guys' opinion on it. I want to know what you guys truly felt about this game mode. And you know, what would, like, truly, what could have fixed it? What could have saved it? And what other game modes do you want to see? Like party game modes, right? Because it can't just be limited to this, bro. It really just cannot be limited to this. They have to have some other things in the just hidden from us right now, right? Because there's so much, like they've already shown us that they have these different ideas, right? Because there is a while ago where Toshi was actually promoting this website where there is a different like set of rules that you could play by. Like there is a summon sealed rule where for per matchup you would actually have to summon your characters right before the match began, and that was never implemented in game. And that's something that really like was like, damn, that sucks. And they could I feel like they could easily do that. They just roll our team before we actually go into the matchmaking, and that way you go with a random generated team versus another random generated team, and it's just pure RNG, right? I feel like that's something that they could do that would be fun. It could be a little bit frustrating. I can definitely see how at times it could be frustrating, but I feel like it would be very fun, right? Especially if it's not, the rewards aren't so limited like these ones are, right? They're not so like restrictive is what I should rather say. If they had it just more so on how much time you put into it, or like a perfect example would be like if there was a challenge on there where it's like get 20 wins, but you don't have a limited amount of playtime, right? That's something completely feasible. I feel like a lot of people could easily do. or maybe not easily, but it's still challenging in a way, right? Especially if you're just having really, really crappy RNG, you have to really work for it or something like that. That's personally what I would suggest. Other than that, like I said before, man, like just room for improvement, man. It's just always being hopeful. You just got to really be hopeful here. I know a lot of people can be really pessimistic about this game, and that's fair too. Right, that's definitely fair too, because there definitely gets to a point where it's just like, oh, you can keep hoping and you keep getting let down. But honestly, there's always, for me at least, there's always the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm always going to be very hopeful for the state of the game, because I do log into the game every day. Every day I do find some sort of way to enjoy it, just not with this game mode, right? So that being said, it's gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Once again, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!